15,000 years ago, you're sitting around a fire in the middle of nowhere. It's dark, it's cold, and somewhere just beyond the edge of the light, something is watching you. Two pale yellow eyes blink out of the blackness. Every instinct says grab your spear, but you don't. And that one small decision, not to act, is probably where this entire story begins. The story of how wolves became dogs is one of the strangest chapters in the whole history of life on this planet. Not because it's dramatic, but because it almost wasn't supposed to happen. No one planned it, no one designed it, and the animal we ended up with came from a chain of accidents so unlikely it almost defies belief. The animal nobody planned to create. Let's start with something most people get completely wrong. Dogs are not a separate species that evolved naturally in the wild. Every dog that has ever lived, from a German Shepherd to a Chihuahua, is biologically a domesticated subspecies of the wolf, Canis lupus familiaris, which means at some point in deep prehistory, wolves and humans started spending time together, and it somehow did not end with everyone getting eaten. Scientists have been arguing about when this happened for decades. The best current estimate puts dog domestication somewhere between 15 and 40,000 years ago, which is admittedly a huge window, partly because ancient DNA is messy and ancient bones don't come with timestamps. But here's what we know for certain. Dogs were the first domesticated animal in history, not cows, not horses, which weren't domesticated until around 6,000 years ago. Dogs, by thousands of years. This happened deep in the Stone Age, long before farming, before any concept of animal husbandry. Nobody planned it. The classic version of how it happened, repeated in documentaries and textbooks, goes like this. A prehistoric human finds an abandoned wolf pup, raises it, trains it, creates a loyal hunting companion. Beautiful. Almost entirely wrong. You can take a wolf pup home the day it's born, feed it by hand, and give it warmth and affection every day, and it will still be a wolf. The instincts don't go away. Wildlife sanctuaries have been learning this lesson for centuries. The idea that some Paleolithic hunter tamed apex predators through goodwill alone is the kind of thinking that gets people hurt. The leading scientific theory is far stranger and, honestly, more interesting. Wolves domesticated themselves. As humans became more effective hunters, they started producing something no other predator was generating at scale: consistent, reliable food waste, leftover bones, discarded scraps. To a wolf, a human camp was a guaranteed food source, so some wolves started edging closer, not the dominant aggressive ones. Those wanted nothing to do with us. The ones that got closer were the fractionally calmer ones, the ones with a slightly lower stress response around these strange, fire-wielding creatures. Those wolves got fed. The aggressive ones, keeping their distance, had fewer offspring. Over many generations, nobody designing any of it, natural selection quietly began pulling wolf behavior in one direction, toward us. The fox experiment that changed everything. Here's where the science gets genuinely strange. In the 1950s, a Soviet geneticist named Dmitry Belyaev ran an experiment that produced results almost nobody believed until they saw them. Belyaev was working in Russia at a time when genetics was officially classified as a bourgeois pseudoscience by the Soviet government, which meant he had to disguise his actual research as fox breeding for the fur industry. What he was really doing was one of the most important animal behavior experiments of the 20th century. He took silver foxes and started selectively breeding them. The only trait he selected for was tameness, how each fox responded to a human. Calm and curious got to breed. Fearful or aggressive did not. That was it. Within just a few generations, something extraordinary started happening. The foxes didn't just get friendlier, they started changing physically. Ears went floppy, tails curled upward, coats developed irregular patches of white and brown, skulls changed shape, faces got rounder. The foxes started making different sounds, started seeking human eye contact, and started behaving in ways that looked unsettlingly dog-like. Belyaev hadn't asked for any of this. He'd selected for one trait and gotten 20. What he'd discovered is something called domestication syndrome, the idea that the biological pathways controlling tameness and low stress response are deeply intertwined with a whole cluster of other physical and developmental traits. Select for friendly behavior and get floppy ears as a bonus. Select for a calm temperament, get spotted fur you never asked for. And perhaps most importantly, Belyaev demonstrated this doesn't take thousands of years. With strong selection pressure, the character of a species can shift dramatically in just a handful of generations. The wolves near ancient human camps might have started showing these same changes far faster than anyone assumed. What a dog's brain actually knows about you. Once that bond formed, something remarkable happened at the level of cognition. Dogs didn't just become tame, they became something genuinely different from wolves in the way they understand the world. Point at something across the room. Your dog will look where you're pointing. Obvious, right? But a wolf won't do this. Even wolf pups raised by humans from birth, intensively socialized, won't reliably follow a pointing gesture. A domestic dog puppy, even one with minimal human contact, does it naturally. It's not a learned behavior. Thousands of generations of selection have wired dogs to read human communication in a way no other animal comes close to matching. There's also the matter of eye contact. In wolf society, sustained direct eye contact is a dominance signal. It means a confrontation is coming. But dogs evolved to hold a human's gaze, to look to us for information, and to treat human faces as meaningful. And when a dog looks into your eyes, both brains release oxytocin, the bonding hormone, the same chemical released between a mother and a newborn. You're not imagining the connection. You're both neurologically experiencing something real. Dogs also carry a physical feature that wolves don't have, a small muscle above each eyebrow called the levator anguli oculi medialis. When a dog contracts it, its face shifts into that soft, wide-eyed expression everyone recognizes, the puppy dog eyes. This muscle appears to have been selected for over thousands of years because it triggers a specific response in humans, the impulse to nurture and care. Your dog's ancestors spent 10,000 years evolving the face that made you want to choose them. By around 10,000 years ago, when humans were beginning to settle into the first agricultural villages, dogs were already embedded in human life so deeply they were being buried alongside people. Not discarded, buried carefully, positioned beside their humans, sometimes with a human hand resting on the animal's body. These are the oldest burials of their kind in the record, and they tell you something that data alone can't capture. The very first domestic relationship in human history wasn't purely transactional. People were grieving their dogs, burying them with ceremony. In a world of brutal survival conditions and a life expectancy that makes a modern person's eyes water, humans were spending emotional energy on their animals. The same emotional logic is still operating today, just expressed now through birthday parties and $40 grain-free salmon-based dog food. Here's what makes dogs different from every other domestic animal. With cattle, horses, goats, and humans, they were always in charge. We captured them, we penned them, we shaped them for our own purposes. The relationship ran one way. With dogs, it was never that simple. Dogs came to us. Their brains changed to understand us in ways that remain unique in the entire animal kingdom. And researchers have found that human populations with dogs performed measurably better in certain survival contexts, with dogs providing early warnings of predators and assistance in tracking prey. There is a serious scientific argument, not a fringe one, that dog domestication was a meaningful factor in the trajectory of human civilization, that without dogs, our story unfolds differently. We didn't just create dogs. In some real sense, they helped create us. That wolf that crept toward the firelight 15,000 years ago was beginning a partnership that has outlasted every empire and language spoken since. The next time your dog loses its mind over the sound of your keys in the door or falls asleep across your feet with complete and total trust, that is 15,000 years of co-evolution expressing itself in a single moment. That bond was built slowly, accidentally, and at considerable cost to the rational decision-making of wolves everywhere. If this changed how you think about your dog, hit like on this video. Subscribe for more deep dives into the science behind things you thought you already understood, and drop a comment with what kind of dog you have or which part of this story surprised you most.